wasn't something you spend $20, $50 on. I mean, I can see, if it's on television, you check it out. But I mean, you look at the way Tom Cruise kind of in that movie, when he's talking about Afghanistan and how, okay, we've got soldiers there and it's a war on terror, and putting Tom Cruise in Iron Man would have been a serious Iron Man. And this is kind of like, it's serious, but it has that kind of wink, wink, like Rat Pack. It's kind of like, I guess, it's kind of like Ocean's 11, where you're like, oh, these are these are con artists, but they're not like real con artists the way that Entrapment or the bank job, or not the boring, serious. This is how somebody would steal something, but that kind of flair and that kind of like let's make it entertaining kind of con artist. The con artist, and I get that. But for me, what is the point of all this? The point was, like, I don't like Afghanistan because, like I said, we have people. We that is our war now. I mean it's they didn't go with Vietnam because they who gives a fuck about Vietnam, and it's the past and too much and what does that have to do with anything? Let's update it and make it Afghanistan, and that's fine. So basically, Iron Man's killing terrorists. But like I said, for me, like I said, when I think of serious things, I think, if you ever seen the movie Three Kings, if you ever seen the like, why are those people terrorists? It's very easy to go in and go, these are we'll kill you. And it's not like, well, why are they, like I'm sorry, but like my viewpoint was like, well, why do these people become terrorists? And that's where my mind was at, because if you just look at what's going on in Iraq and around the world, the seriousness of it, like, well, what creates a terrorist? We all know how Osama bin Laden got created, which is basically who the Mandarin essentially is. Think Osama bin Laden. Well, who gave him the weapons? Who gave him the training? And not only that, what is their ultimate goal? Is their goal to take over the world and destroy with this guy, he was like, well, I want to rule all of Asia and all this bullshit. And no offense, but first of all, fucking stupidest thing in the world. Fucking stupidest thing in the world. I just think that's the fucking, like, it's just something, like, I'm gonna get into Obadiah Stane, awesome. But if you see shows like Alias, really good shows, they may not be realistic, but you don't rule the world just because you have the weapon. Yes, technology is important. But you don't just rule the world because you go, I have a big bomb and don't fuck with me. You don't, it's kind of like if you watch things like David Icke and stuff, it's like the invisible hand. When you rule unknowingly. People don't know that you're in power. People don't know that you're ruling and ruling over them. You don't rule by force. Because if you do, in today's age, then you have, it's kind of like, I guess the best way to say is like, it's kind of like that Paul Newman, I think it's Paul Newman, where he goes, when you look around the room, if you can't spot the sucker, it's you. And that's the same way with countries now, where it's like, if you look around and you're looking for the bad guy, everyone's looking like, who are the bad guys? Who is evil? Who is the Hitler? Who is the Nazis now? And everyone goes, well, it's the terrorists. It's Osama bin Laden. It's them. And people won't ever go, well, it's America, or it's the British, or it's these guys, or it's Lockheed and Martin. It's the people making, like, you don't think that. You have the Osama bin Laden, so that people look at them, and you sucker people into thinking they're the evil ones. So in that sense, you understand that with this movie, it was talking about, well, yeah, this guy makes the weapons. And that, making the weapons, and God, I hate to go off on a tangent, I'm going to, but like I think of another movie, Layer Cake, and I love there's a sequence where, that movie's awesome, and Daniel Craig fucking awesome, and the guy's like, he's like, you know why people like you can't get out of this business? Because you make too much money for people like me. And I feel like that's the same way with Tony Stark. Like, why the military would not allow him to stop making weapons. they would, like, I was just, like, I'm sorry, but for me, I was looking at this movie and I go, man, S.H.I.E.L.D. I was just like, this is so fucking stupid. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. And the guy would come in, hi, I'm a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and my job is to basically come in here and say a long acronym, and I'm S.H.I.E.L.D. That guy could not only get into Tony Stark's, I mean, have you seen Mission Impossible? Have you seen, I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the Mission, they're bigger than Mission, they're S.H.I.E.L.D. They're the top. There's nothing above S.H.I.E.L.D. There's Hydra. That's it. In the comic world, there's S.H.I.E.L.D. and there's Hydra. They could have fucking put bombs in Tony Stark's fucking helmet and blown him up if they felt like. Like the idea that they wouldn't... Like, the idea that, like... Well, we want to set up a meeting. You don't fucking set up meetings. You just show up. You're S.H.I.E.L.D. You don't fucking do... Well, we do things... No. You just show up. Hi, we're S.H.I.E.L.D. We need you. They black bag you, rendition. They take your ass. They're S.H.I.E.L.D. They don't fucking... They don't wait around. They don't make appointments. They don't... And that was something that pissed me off. I get it. I know why they did it. Because then there wouldn't be a movie, and he's got to go off and fight and kill terrorists, and then the other guy, he's got to become a giant robot. Like I said... all cool in the comic realm. You don't want this to become 24. But that's... Honk. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. They're pissed off. But that's where my mind is like, that's the problem I've always felt with Iron Man, is that Iron Man is the kind of military superhero. He's the one that's created. He's the one that if he dies, well, they still take his ideas, they still take his suit, and they continue it. And that, like, that's kind of the big thing about it. That's like, like I said, S.H.I.E.L.D. What's to stop S.H.I.E.L.D. from taking all the Iron Man suits for themselves? Or what's to stop... And like I said, there's so much big... I call it... I get ramifications. There's so much ramifications to what's Tony Stark... Like I said, it's leading to Civil War. That I think people are going with this and just thinking that you can just do something simple now, which is just... I'm an inventor... I build stuff, and I go and hey, Fantastic Four, we go and fight the bad guy. Like it's much bigger than that. That it's like, no, I'm the guy who hunts the Fantastic Four. I'm the guy who like Tony Stark and S.H.I.E.L.D. are about hunting our heroes. They're about taking away that I'm a scientist with an accident. Like they change. They take everything and they make it really serious. That it like that's like I said, everything's leading towards Civil War. Like that's where this starts, because I've already heard like they're talking about Iron Man 2, and they want to do Mandarin with the Fing Fang Foom shit and the dragons, and I'm already like, dude, that's not Iron Man. Iron Man isn't. I mean, I like the idea of the kind of Iron Fist, Doctor Strange kind of. But I mean, and that's somewhere you can take the franchise. But like for me, I don't know. Like I say, like I feel like the problem with Iron Man is, for me, as I said, like it's too military. It's too military. That Captain America is obviously going to reintroduce somehow, and he's going to kick ass, and it's going to be great, and you're going to have the Civil War. But like it's just like I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like I said. It's just like it's. They tried to make something that was, like I said, it's military. That's like, if you, at the end of the day, that's all we have. Like as Americans, as anywhere, when shit goes wrong, we have to go somewhere. And like I said, we don't have superheroes. That's what this is about. Oh, what if there was a Superman? What if there was an X-Men? What if there was a group of people? And they'll deal with it. They'll go and there's problems, whatever, they'll go deal with it. Fantastic Four will show up. And that's something that, like I said, in my mind, even more so, that's something that pissed me off, was, like I said, the idea that I don't like that they can't just, like, I turn to my friend sometimes, and, I turn to my friend and I go, oh, we got an unidentified thing, and I was like, is it Superman? And I know that's stupid for someone to say that. Like, no, dude. But I was like, well, why can't it be Superman? Superman doesn't exist in the world? Like, okay, because that's DC, they're not going to talk. But I was like, okay, so then what if it's the Fantastic Four? Why can't it be the Fantastic Four? Fantastic Four don't, like, I'm tired of, I like that this movie's going towards an Avengers world, but I don't, like, like it amazes me that, okay, Iron Man will see that report and go do something, but the idea that, the X-Men wouldn't see it, or that there would be mutants already in Afghanistan and they'd do something, or what about the